last meeting.
Well, this is actually, if you remember, we didn't have a quorum last meeting. This is meeting for us, and this is the one that has to be approved by y'all before our new people can start signing checks. The bank requires that, so, pardon me, Mr. Mayor, for putting that on there. I know you just wanted one item on there, but, we need to get this approved so, the new people can start signing checks.
Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Seconds, okay, motion is second. Shannon, you the second? Who's the second?
Mayor did, you're right.
Deborah did, yeah.
Okay, I heard a voice, but I'm not sure it was. Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. On the agenda, is there a motion to approve the agenda? It's already started.
I'll approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, create a selection process to hire new tourism directors. This all have...
At the last minute, I found the job description when y'all hired me 11 years ago, so that's an 11-year-old job description, but I did find it.
Okay.
They must do as good as Barry.
I literally found it 15 minutes ago, so I have not had a chance to update it.
Well,
Because actually it was, sent to my home address. I never really had it at work until but somehow I found it on the email, so I got it.
all right, so let's take a look here.
What are we called now?
We're the Tourism Board of Sumner County. In 2017, the county commission changed it from the CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau, to the Tourism Board of Sumner County, and at that moment, they moved all of our employees from the CVB over to the new Tourism Board of Sumner County.
So, line one, we need to change tourism
Correct.
board to Sumner County.
Executive committee, that's us.
Well, actually, back then, there were 15 people on the board, so they had an executive committee, which was made up of the president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And when we went to the smaller board of only 9 people, they voted to do away with the executive committee, so...
And so just say,
So you've just got the board.
and,
Consists of the tourism board. Okay.
yeah, there you go, period, take the rest out.
All right. Manage day-to-day activities of the Convention Visitors Bureau of Honor, including general management and coordination of the county's tourism efforts, responsible for program of work, organization.
That's a Jimmy Johnston term. He likes that term, program of work.
Gotcha. Organization structure and procedures, budget and finance, staffing, public relations, marketing and planning, direct and manage staff, and the implementation of tourism objectives and policies. Is that still...
That's still pretty much it.
it? Do you know of any others that we should add to that list? Offhand. Go back to that quickly too.
Working with the board, it doesn't really say that on there, but I guess that's pretty
Under
obvious.
your policy, serve as an advisor to the board of directors
Okay.
on management policies.
I just brought this for y'all's information.
Sure.
You can do
I was
whatever you
hoping we
want.
would have one, because it's easier to do this than to write up one from scratch.
Yeah.
Specific duties and responsibilities, program of work. Responsible for the identification of community, county tourism needs, and for the development of program of work designed to meet those needs. Direct and implement this program of work with the aid of staff volunteers and the board of directors, and policies adopted, including policies adopted by the board of directors. Are we still considered the board of directors?
Yeah, you're the Tourism Board of Sumner County.
Okay, making sure. Anything else there, anything there that seems old and should discard, or something we should add?
It's pretty broad in its description here.
Broad is usually good for the description anyway.
And what I'm reading, as I read further, it's kind of like tourism sites, for example, it kind of breaks down into those specific duties a little better, so.
Well, let's move on. Let's say anybody has more comments on program work. Projects and events planning. Responsible for management of county tourism. Trade shows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Other activities need worthy by consensus of the board and the staff and the board.
That's still pretty much accurate.
Pretty much covers pretty much everything. Tourism sites responsible for consulting with site directors, staff, and volunteers, specific congestion, historical sites, attractions, etc. Assist these sites with development of ideas, planning, and marketing in accordance with program of work and marketing plan. This mission, that seems pretty much what we're doing with what the job is.
And you might want to add somewhere in here that we are what's, in the tourism world, we're what's called a DMO, a Destination Marketing Organization. That probably just need to go up towards the top somewhere.
Under duties and responsibilities.
And
Well, that's Angela Govan. Do we want to? Hello?
Barry, this is Angela. Mary Lee was going to call me into the meeting, and she said to call you, that she was at the hospital.
Yeah, her father has gone into the ICU. He had bypass surgery about a week ago, so she's not here. But we've got you on speakerphone.
Hello, Angela, this is Baker. Hi. All right, so where should we put developed, what'd you say, develop?
DMO.
Destination Marketing Organization. Manage the activities of the Sumner County Tourism Office, which, I don't know, is or however you want to put that.
Okay. Like manage day-to-day activities of the tourism board or tourism office as a destination marketing organization.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, as at the very front, as a destination marketing organization.
Okay, including.
Duties would
Yeah.
include
Okay.
managing day-to-day activities.
All right. Tourism science, we looked at that. Long-range planning, under the direction of an evolving board of directors and roster of officers. Evolving? I'm not sure that needs to be there. The director is responsible for maintaining continuity and consistency of programming. The director may work with the board of directors to anticipate emerging and long-range trends and recommend county programs to address such challenges.
I mean, in today's world, we've been taught by all the tourism conferences we go to that due to the increased technology, people don't do like 5 or 7 year plans anymore because things change so quickly. I'm here to advise you. Y'all do whatever you want to do. But
You still have, you still pay
You're
attention
trying to
to
get rid of
emerging
long-range
and
trends.
long-range.
I would just get rid of long range, the word long range.
And just use trends, or marketing trends, or
Anticipate emerging and
Marketing, I
trends.
mean,
anticipate emerging trends. Just get rid of and long range.
Just the last long-range thing we did was the clips.
yeah, we planned on that for about 3 years.
I remember when you brought it up, it was like, this is 3 years from now, why are we even talking about this? Boy, were we lucky we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, we make that planning, get rid of long range.
Yeah.
And then the last line, that the director must work with the board of directors to anticipate emerging trends and recommend county programs to address such challenges. Does that sound good? Okay. Policy. There's CVB in there. Service advisor, board of directors, I'm not going to retain policies, working staff, yeah, I think that looks good.
You know, we now do have a, what do we call it, personnel policy manual? We do have that in place now. We went years without having anything, basically. I don't know if you, that kind of covers that, I guess, but.
I marked out the CDB everywhere in here and just put, tourism board at one time. TWSC for me, but.
All right. Personnel, responsible for employment supervision of staff, including the authority to select, employ, develop, discharge employees. Develop and maintain personnel policies and practices of employees in conjunction with the board of directors, develop their organizational plan for staff. We've pretty much got that done. That's done, but it needs to stay here. The next director will need to be doing those things. Finance. General responsibility for management of finances, well, CBB. Prepare annual budgets. Budget information is requested by the board. Give the county budget committee if necessary. Prepare regular and accurate financial reports. responsible for all expenditures within the budget, framework of the budget, negotiate contracts with event planners, signs checks in accordance with bylaws. Everything there is pretty accurate as far as I can tell.
Speaking of budget, has that been turned in?
No, it's due the end of the month.
Or the day?
I typically turn it in on the day before it's due.
So you're still gonna pull that off?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yes, I will turn, yes. I mean, look, I gave y'all,
Plenty of.
you may want to kick me out before that, but I figured it's going to take you a while to get somebody to replace me, so I didn't want to
Thank
leave you hanging, you know, so.
Thank you, I was aware of that. And then the other thing would be, will you make sure to let us know what the hearing date is, best you can?
Well, typically the budget is due, it's either February 28th or March 1st, I forget, but it's March 1st. And I don't know if anything has changed, but typically, we have a budget hearing either in April or May, just depending on how fast or slow things are going. That's when I come in and I have about 7 minutes or something to tell them what we're planning, and then we answer any questions anybody has.
So my concern this year, and I'm sorry to stop us letting know, but it's probably appropriate timing. My concern this year is we have pretty much new commission. And we're going to be asking our tourism directors. So we've got to be very diligent in making sure that they being the powers, the budget committee, whoever those people are, don't see this as an opportunity to cut the budget, because tourism is doing so good in Sumner County, and I want to make sure if I have to stand up, I will. I want to make sure I have all of the numbers that I know you have that shows how many tourism dollars actually are brought in as a result. So we may spend $700,000 of tourism dollars on the tourism department, but the economic impact is...
$176 million last year.
Right. So $700,000 to fund in all this, that brings in $176 million in economic impact. We got to make sure that people understand that. I don't want them to see this as an opportunity to say, hey, we don't have a director, it's a great time to cut the budget and start over, because then we start going backwards, and all the efforts that have been put in for the last 10 years kind of go to wayside.
And we are running ahead of last year. I'm not supposed to bring this up today, but I just got our numbers for December, and it was up from last December. So we're a little bit further ahead than I told you we were last time.
Anyway, Tom, I apologize for interrupting. I just wanted to make sure we have that in the back of our minds as we go forward.
Okay, anything under finance that needs to be changed? Anybody see anything?
I did not.
Okay. Marketing and public relations, prepare, edit, and publish. Angela, we're reading from
Yeah.
the job description when Barry was hired.
11 years ago.
So,
Oh, mercy.
marketing and public relations, prepare, edit, and publish all CDB and Sumner County tourism publications and communications, including, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, the only thing I see missing from it is social media, SEO, which is search engine optimization. You know, it's gotten a little bit more technical as far as the marketing goes. Sue, what else did we talk to the marketing person about?
The analytics.
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 They need to be familiar with all that.
Do they need to be familiar with all that, or do we need to have the people in place? Like, typically, an accountant is good at numbers, a salesperson is good at people, right? So, as a director, you're gonna be good with people. Do you not need a social media expert?
Well, we have that. We have one. But our office is still relatively small. If that person's out for some reason, then the director's going to step in and either do it themselves or get somebody else to do it, you know.
Okay, so social media, search engine optimization and Google Analytics needs to be added.
Or analytics, yeah.
How about working knowledge?
A working knowledge, yeah. You don't have to be an expert, but you would need to know something about it. Because that's where it's at as far as marketing nowadays. What you're trying to do is trying to get when somebody Googles you, you're trying to get your,
Come up at the
right,
top.
you come up at the top, and that's what you put in keywords and things of that sort that help you get up to the top.
So now we need to go in that paragraph,
Somewhere in there,
in that 12-line sentence.
yeah. And that, yeah, like you said, a working knowledge. They don't have to have 20 years' experience of it, because it had
Oh, my goodness.
Hadn't been around there.
Yeah. All right. So we can add something, we can add that to marketing and public relations. Other activities. Represent Sumner County in all tourism-related activities, including local, regional, state, and national organizations, conferences, and meetings. Serves liaison and channel communications between the tourism board and Sumner County.
That's still pretty much true. You have to kind of see and be seen and communicate with all the city mayors, in addition to you guys, the chambers of commerce, the Parks and Recreation
Do it
Department.
belong to all the chambers of commerce?
Yes, we are members of all 6 chambers of commerce in Sumner County.
Because we have to work closely with them.
That's correct.
Attend meetings from the county commission as necessary, prepare meeting packets and attend tourism board, we reword that, meetings.
Let me back up. We are the Tourism Board of Sumner County, Inc., but we do business as Sumner County Tourism. Oh, it's okay to say Sumner
It's
County.
a Sumner County Tourism Board, okay. Submitting periodic reports reflecting the activities of the Sumner County Board of Tourism. Perform the duties as necessary to the best interests of the board, subject to the policies established by the board. Anything anybody sees there that needs to be revised or updated or crossed out?
Thank you for correcting me.
Yes, thank you.
No, I just found it like 20 minutes ago, so.
Is this a contract position?
I think I signed a letter of employment, but I mean, I basically serve at the will and pleasure of the board, in Tennessee.
The board.
This board.
All right.
Yeah, it's not like a 5-year contract like you would to a county attorney or something.
Yeah, I don't have any years, or it's just like, okay, I'm gonna sign this saying I'm now your director, but you can keep me or not, whenever you want, I guess. But
I'm almost afraid of the contract, just in case we accidentally made the wrong decision. No, we'd be.
Oh, no, I agree.
But just to remind y'all, we're a 501c6 private nonprofit corporation, and I answer solely to this board. Now, we do get our 95% of our funding does come from the county commission, but
Through the bed tax, hotel tax.
occupancy tax, yes, sir. We do get various grants and things from the state and other things too, but as it is right now, I answer to you guys right here. And I work at the will and pleasure of the board.
Okay, so what was the procedure when they hired you?
Okay, and once again, I'm here to help you. It's none of my, the way I see it, it's none of my business how y'all do this.
Were you gonna say something?
I'm just here to help you. So here's how it went down 11 years ago. I'll try not to take more than a couple hours, no, I'm just kidding. At that time, we had 16 people on the board. We had somebody from each chamber of commerce. That's basically the difference. Now we just have one chamber of commerce on here. But they actually hired the Center for Nonprofit Management.
Is that the fellow from Falls States?
No, this is, I don't know if y'all know a lady named Terry Hughes. She's over the Center for Nonprofit Management in Nashville. My recollection is there were over 40 applications, and what they did is they hired the Center for Nonprofit Management to whittle it down. So they did the initial interviews, and I don't remember if I did 1 or 2 with them, but they cut it down to 10 people, but then they cut it down to 4. And I believe the tourism board had a ad hoc committee, what are you gonna call it, of 7 people from the board. That's when the board had 15 on it total. And those 7 board members did the final interview with the 4 finalists.
So all of your interviews were, and I've used the Center for Nonprofit Management, the Child Care Center.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, but they do a lot of the work.
They do all the work for you. You don't have to worry about it until you get down to the final 4.
But they sent us, let's use your numbers, 10 and 4, they sent us the candidates again, we looked at them.
That may be what happened.
Yeah, and then they whittled it down.
They whittled it down to 4.
And then they sent us those four, and we decided who we wanted to interview, and we had face-to-face interviews at
Yes,
the time.
yes. And then, they decided on me for some reason, I don't know.
But if I'm not mistaken, Barry, and correct me if I am wrong, they did all of the advertising and everything for us. We didn't gather the 40 and
Now,
then...
don't quote me on this, I don't know if Mr. Al's on or not there, but, I believe the cost was a little bit more than $10,000. It may have been closer to 12.
So it's not a percentage of your income, it's
They just charged a
They
fee.
just charge a fee.
Of course, that was 11 years ago, and things may have changed for them, I don't know, but,
We would need to check into what that cost is to make sure it's
I'm sure prices have gone up.
right. But they're going to open us up nationwide to the top versus we're going to be limited on who we attract or who we,
I mean, we could put it on Indeed.com and get 250 applications.
Well, that's what you have to decide. I mean, of course, if you get 250, you're gonna want Center for Nonprofit Management.
Right.
My church was looking for a youth minister, a youth director. I got the weirdest applicants.
That's what I was going to say. Do we want 250 unqualified applicants, or do we want to go out and try to steal the best tourism director we can steal for our money? And that's where the Center for Nonprofit is going to be able to get to those people that we're not going to find.
Yeah, we put it out ourselves, we will get lots of unqualified applicants.
Barry and I mean, we've had several conversations about this, and I think it's worth the investment. We'll still advertise it locally, but we'll advertise it where they contact Center for Nonprofit Management. They won't go through us. I do think that this job description, we probably need to run through our HR, just for advice, to make sure everything's okay.
Because this doesn't have all the
any legalities,
Right.
just add to it.
Yeah, it hasn't changed in the last 11 years, that's for sure.
Yeah, so, we have all these discriminatory clauses and all that, so, but we had talked about this, and I think it would be an excellent investment. It's how we got Barry, and, Barry has taken tourism to the next level in Sumner County. And the return on the investment that we've made in tourism is quite obvious, and I want to try to keep that going as much as possible. And that's going to require a nationwide search to find the best person. And that best person may be locally, I don't know.
We won't know that we try.
So, but Center for Nonprofit Management are professionals. They know this business, and they know how to vet the candidates, and they can get it whittled down to where we find the one that best, what we think best fits Sumner County.
And I remember the name of the gentleman that had this account from the Center for Nonprofit Management. Now, he may be retired now, I don't know, his name is Frank Parsons. So Terry Hughes, that's TARIHUGHES, I believe. She's the CEO of the Center for Nonprofit Management. And then Frank Parsons was the person they signed this to, and he's the one who did the interviews, the initial interviews, and helped whittle it down. And he may not still be there, I don't know. But
I'm not real sure, but that's something similar.
I do remember he did do a phone interview to whittle it down before I came in for an interview. He called me on the phone, I remember now. So he did at least 2 interviews with all the candidates.
So Mayor, what do you think our next move is? Send this over to HR and let them...
Well, I mean, we can do several things simultaneously, because we do need to move pretty quick. One, I can get this fine-tuned to make sure everything's okay with it. I'd be more than happy to do that, and then send it out to everybody, so everybody can kind of take one glance at it, and, and see if there's anything we missed. And then the second part, we've gotten pretty small as a board. I don't know if we need a separate board, or if you just want to task somebody with making the contacts and getting the process rolling. We just vote as a board to start this process. I think before we make a decision, we probably need to gather some information. I don't think I would want to say, let's employ Center for Nonprofit Management if I don't know how much they're going to charge.
Yeah, it's probably gone up.
And, well, it has to have gone up, and I'm sure the people have changed.
I did think of one thing. I don't want to, well, let me just say it. In 2015, the Douglas Park House opened, and the county asked us to operate it. So we have an employee over there at the Douglas Park House that has to be supervised. So we operate a historic site, basically.
Right.
So that's not in here.
Yeah, and we probably need to state that specifically.
And that's not unlike, I used to be the director of welcome centers for the state of Tennessee. It's not unlike the welcome centers. TDOT owns all the welcome centers, but they got tourism to operate, so the employees in there were our employees.
Right. And that was part of the grant process, to refurbish the Douglas House. The state said you have to have somebody here.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Is it a 40-hour week?
It's 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours.
Oh, okay.
In the grant, I've been told in the grant, it says we have to be open 5 days a week. During COVID, we got a, what's it called, a waiver to just be open 4 days a week.
I'm surprised we were open.
Well, we weren't open at all there, during the first 2 months of it, but because we had to, everybody's funding kind of dropped a little bit, so we had to.
Is this a renewable grant, or is this something that will go away?
I was not really involved with the grant process. That would have been the county mayor's office and Kim Norfleet.
Yeah, and I would have to get an answer for you. Golly, I thought it was a one-time.
Because if it's not renewable,
My thought was
then
it was one-time grant.
it wears, it goes away, then we're not stuck.
Yeah, I've never seen the grant. I was just, the
Okay.
county mayor's office just asked us if we would operate it, and at the time, I said, okay, sure, so I did.
I'm glad that.
Okay, well, we might want to look at that grant.
I'll get you that information. Well, I get everybody, so I send it to everybody at one time.
And by the way, the Center for Nonprofit Management is a 501c3 corporation,
Right.
so they're also a nonprofit.
Yeah, Terry Hughes used to be the head of the Nashville Library Foundation.
Terry Hughes is still president and CEO.
Yeah, okay.
Is that phone number handy? Can you guys hold it?
615-544-4713.
47313, sorry. I don't mind taking that task and reaching out and gathering data, shooting an email out and saying, hey, this is who I spoke with, this is what they look like financially, this is what it looks like.
I don't mind letting you do that.
I think it's a great idea.
I do too, that is wonderful.
Somebody has to. Let them
Somebody
know.
has to. Hey, I have a feeling in the end, I'm
I've been on those data missions.
All right, so I think those are the steps we need to take right now. So I'll get this document ready and send it out to everybody for review. I get the information on Douglas Clark House, send that out to everybody for review, and you'll get the information from Center for Nonprofit Management. I do think we probably need to make a decision pretty quick to get it started. I think, good thing Barry's going to Portland.
I'm still gonna be around.
So, we can still tap him as a resource, a light resource. I don't want to be leaning on him too much.
I mean, a lot of our,
How much
got work to
is
do.
the consultation fee?
Well, we can negotiate that.
And we don't have another meeting till March 21st.
March 21st is the next meeting.
We may end up with
We need to go to a special meeting.
What does the position pay? Is that something else we need to
That
change?
is what we need to know.
Okay.
They should be able to help give us guidance as what is currently the trend, but he probably knows.
I mean, I can tell you what I make.
Do you want to write it down on a piece of paper?
I'd love to.
Okay.
But I can tell you, that's not what I signed on for. I've had a few raises over the 11 years.
Oh, I would, and that's also cost of living and everything.
He's gonna write it down.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number, but it's somewhere around,
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot all about this.
I don't have the exact number, but it's somewhere around that.
Okay.
But when I
Okay, that's all, thank you.
when I first started, it was that. That's a 5, I'm sorry.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm still not used to that,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Part of our work with Center Nonprofit Management is also determine a salary range. We'll need a market range for this, if we plan on wanting to be competitive. So, I think that would be an excellent resource for that.
I'm not.
That was part of the problem with the law directors, that when we did that. I mean, the competitiveness, we're not
competitive.
we can't afford to be that competitive. We do the best way to do it.
We have to make a decision to be competitive. It's not that we can't afford it, it's that we have
Thank
to
you for
make
the
a
foresight
decision.
on that, because that's true.
Yes.
You have to make a decision. So, and guys, I'm sorry, but this is just something, I was in a legislative meeting for Tennessee Realtors on the Hill Day, and William Lambert made a statement that was very impactful, very profound to me, and it's something going forward that I really intend to try to speak to my county lawmakers about, and that was that Brentwood, Williamson County, many years ago decided what they wanted to look like and who they wanted to be, and that included, for them, having the most expensive houses because that provided more tax. And I use that as an example because I think it's really important that we as Sumner County to have to decide who we want to be and what we want to look like in 20 years. And that starts right here with tourism. Who do we want to be and what do we
Can't
want to
just
look
happen.
like?
Because we've seen what happens when it just happens.
When it just happens, that's right, and then you wake up and you don't like any of it, and it's too late, and I just found that to be very profound. I'm going to really start being diligent on a daily basis, and what do we want that to look like, and how do we get there? Yeah, I'll be bothering all y'all.
All right, so, here's what's gonna happen, is Mayor is going to send the job description to HR, to Wordsmith, put in all the required language that has come up for the last 10 years, and make sure that everything is sufficient. And you are going to contact,
Center for Nonprofit Management.
I just realized I've been getting emails from them for like the last couple of years, and I never really responded. Center for Nonprofit Management, and then you're gonna get back with us, John will get back with us?
Yep, I'll shoot an email as soon as I have something
Okay.
gathered with any data and information. I'll try to have that by Monday, depends on how lucky I am getting in touch with them tomorrow.
She may not get back to you.
Well, Terry, she's got a pretty large staff, I don't know if she's gonna...
There's a lot of people on the project here, not somebody else.
I would have to talk to her. I know I didn't talk to her when we were doing it for the child care center.
And Frank Parsons, who did it 11 years ago, apparently still with them, because that's what his name was.
Okay, well, I think if we're able to get this part done by Monday, let's say Monday, let's go ahead and set a meeting for that following Monday. We have to set a day's notice.
For us, that's,
For us to get together to approve or disapprove
What time did you say?
for the next Monday, is
that's
it
the
20th?
19th.
I'll be out of town.
It's a bye week, that's how I remember.
Yeah, that's President's
Because we
Day.
don't have commission until next week.
Yeah,
That's what I call them.
That's President's Day, and I'll be out of
I
town.
don't get 5 weeks.
I'll be out of town.
Well, that's what I was coming back for.
Absolutely. Okay, so,
We could get together that. Tuesday is school board, so we could get together Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
I mean, we could call it, if you have the information by Friday, we can call it late Friday through the next Friday.
You're talking about the Friday being tomorrow?
Friday week, like the 17th.
Yeah, I'm leaving town on the 17th, won't be back till the 23rd.
I will have, my goal is to have the information by Monday the 13th, Tuesday the 14th at the latest, if we want to do something on Wednesday or Thursday before Baker leaves, 15th to 16th.
think there's a 7-day notice that we have to.
Yeah, we need to.
Deal with.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this, is tourism under those rules? Because you're a separate 501c3.
Well, I want to do, we all know this when we have a board meeting, because we always have to post it.
Okay, that would be a thing for a special call.
Yeah, so we'll probably just
Well,
evaluate
if we
those.
give you time, and you have it by Wednesday, then we could do the next Wednesday, which is the 21st. 22nd, sorry, Ash Wednesday.
So.
Or we do that
So,
Thursday,
yeah,
the 20th.
and I see our director, Remus.
No,
We're running out of time.
I'm an old man, I keep my calendar on a paper, piece of paper, I didn't bring that with me, I'm just trying to figure out, do I have anything that's been...
So if we
I
have
don't
to
think
do
we have
7-day
anything.
notice, can we not do, starting today, the 9th? Is that what we're going to do on Thursday? the
Special
16th?
calls, you have to do 7 days on special calls.
Yeah.
So,
Could we do it on Thursday if we put the notice out?
I mean, we put the notice out now.
We put the notice out now,
Yeah.
put the notice out now and do it Thursday,
Yeah.
16th, that's next Thursday.
And then you can cancel it if we don't have any
Exactly.
information.
Okay, so what time are we
No,
saying?
you have something, you have a meeting, but I think it's in the morning.
I've got something, I've got doctor's appointment in the morning, something in the afternoon.
Kelly,
Thursday, the 15th is very bad for me. All
Very bad.
Thursdays kind of have turned into that, but I could work. with
Wednesday,
that.
15th, that would officially be 7 days if we count today.
The 15th, well, you have to do it after 12:30.
What about the 16th?
The 16th, you have a meeting and Kelly and I are both out.
Good thing somebody knows your calendar.
It is.
Okay, Friday the 17th.
Anybody doing Ashes Wednesday? I'm not.
I am, but I'll be in Chicago to do it.
Oh,
You're ready
okay.
Friday the 17th.
Well, send us a picture. So Wednesday looks like it, or Thursday evening.
Thursday's evening, fine with me.
Thursday the 16th, I've got a Zoom meeting at 5, but if we meet, if I get home by 5, then.
Oh, I was like, the 15th, I was
We
thinking.
can't do it during the day at all on Thursday.
Okay.
I cannot.
I know Angela can't come during the day, because like I said, she's working.
Angela, you here with us?
I am.
I
I can come later in the day, but 2 o'clock, I can't.
Yeah, right.
Can we do it 4 o'clock?
Thursday?
And then be done, we'll be done in time for Baker, get a Zoom meeting at
I think I
5.
could do 4 on Thursday.
I can come at 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And I mean, if I have to, I can do the Zoom meeting on my phone here, so.
Okay.
I have to.
Kelly and I are both out that.
So that my 2-minute takers won't be here that day.
Well, one of us can do it.
One of y'all take the minutes.
I have to be somewhere by 5 on the 15th too. I mean, 16th.
16.
No, on Thursday the 16th.
I just have to be somewhere by 5 too. I have a meeting at 5:30 that I have to be there.
What will we be doing on that meeting? What's the purpose for having that meeting?
That meeting will, to make a decision on employing the Center of Nonprofit Management and the policy on how we're going to proceed to.
And approving the job description.
The job description. Yep.
Can anybody move it up to 3:30 and still be okay? I'm trying to make sure we get her somewhere by 5 and you do your Zoom meeting. Can everybody make?
I have to just be back, I don't even know what day we're talking about.
Thursday, the 16th.
Okay. I think so, if that's just real quick. My hair appointment's on Tuesday, so I'm not worried about it.
I'm okay for 3:30.
16th at 3:30?
Okay.
I'll check it when I get back. I mean, it's not, I don't count as a board member, so, sure. I'll be,
She's real cute.
I would love to be here to help you.
What's your new job gonna be like?
Well, I'm gonna be the director of the Temple Theater in Portland, and my wife said, "You are not going to go do that." And I took her up there and showed it to her. She said, "That's like a ministry summer once."
It is beautiful.
It's like beautiful over here, I've ever seen. I just fell in love with it.
Well, make sure you park far away from where you work, because if you eat lunch across the street every day, you're gonna need to walk a little bit.
I need to walk.
They have great deviled eggs and pistachios.
They're great.
Talking about Milo's? Top of the ridge?
Yeah, top of the ridge.
They're both there, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I've never been to that one.
Anything else we need to talk about?
Did you get that date and time, 3:30 on the 16th?
And are you gonna do the notice? Who needs to do the notice?
We
You
can,
gonna do that?
it has to go out, yeah, I can do it when I get back.
Okay, you can get it out and get it on the website today.
You know how to do that?
Yeah, I can
Kelly
figure it
normally
out.
does the notices and she's not here, so.
I can figure it
Just
out.
do the notice and you'll send it to Michael Stearns.
Okay.
And you can always just send it to me if you have a problem,
Okay.
and I'll get it to Michael.
Okay. And just saying what, there's a special call for
And we don't really know if there's anything else going on in this room at that time yet, do we? How do we find
I'll
out?
double check.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'll double check it, just to make
If it's
sure.
as pretty as it is today, we'll sit outside.
The whim's too, I think it's calmed down a little bit now.
We can always do it
Mayor's conference
in
room.
the mayor's conference room with this number.
You got that, Angela?
I
I got it.
corrected.
16th at 3:30 PM?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Thank you.
All right, are we finished? Anything else we need to discuss? We've covered the agenda, so the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Bye.
Aye.